So this is the Egg Cup Round 5. Um, this is actually, well, before we begin, map name 1v1, 1vs1 Stalingrad. So this is Tier 1. We are allowed to pick Hawk, Sasha, Von Bolt, and Javier? I don't remember. Probably, yeah. But I went for Eagle because this map, when I play this map, I typically, both of us, in my experience, we always get into a stalemate eventually. Well, by stalemate I mean it tends to drag on for quite a bit before anyone makes progress. So I assumed my opponent knows this and would pick Hawk because Hawk is also good for stalling. The more units are on the field, the stronger Hawk's power become. So I took a little bit of a gamble. I I assumed my opponent would pick Hawk due to the nature of this map being very stally. So I went and picked Eagle. Now, if my opponent picked Von Bolt, or I'm pretty sure Sturm is also allowed because it's fog, I might still be able to fight those two. But if my opponent picked Sasha, yeah, there's no way I'm winning that one. So it is a pretty big risk of picking Eagle, especially against Tier 1 in fog. But I took the risk because I this map can drag on for quite a while. So I'm going to turn off my opponent's units so you can't see it. And this is the Egg Cup Round 5. Go for the neutral base as soon as possible. And get my turn 1 property captures, because turn 1 properties. I sent my infantry up to capture the next property. This infantry can get a capture chain onto that property, and this infantry will capture chain onto the airport. So that's why I sent this infantry up here instead of down for the airport. Can't really see what my opponent is doing right now. But I'm confident because I picked Eagle, and if you remember the round 4 of the Egg Cup where I have a similar Eagle versus Hawk battle, I am feeling very confident. I considered getting a recon this turn, but I thought I need the infantry to capture right now. I'll build the recon next because I do want vision, but not right now. I need infantry to capture right now. So, basic capture phase right now. I get the airports, and there is the argument to build a transport copter here. I have done it many times when I played this game on this map. I don't remember if I've done it for this game specifically. But an airport, well, I mean a transport copter from it is a possible thing you could do. So I actually messed up with my capture order a bit. I wanted this infantry to capture this city, but because of the way I moved it, it now has to go to the city on top instead. So that was a little bit of a mistake on my end because I was playing too quickly. Both of us treated this as like a live game. So we played this when we were both online and we just kept going turn after turn. But I suppose it's fine. It's not too bad of a thing. I can still reach this comm tower next. But still, it kind of throws me off a little bit because normally after capturing this property, my infantry will continue moving up to capture properties further ahead. But now I'm sending it to the comm tower. And if I don't go for the comm tower and I'm playing as Eagle, I would assume my opponent might try to rush me and deny me the comm tower, so I have to go for the comm tower next. And so apparently I didn't go for the transport copter this game. I suppose I don't remember my thought process, but I can make one up right now. My opponent may try to rush me because I'm playing as Eagle, and if I built a transport copter, I would be slightly behind in the vehicle and just stronger unit production. So I should skip on the transport copter and go straight to building battle copters for weapons. So both of us has a recon here. I am going to focus on the right side of the map more than I'm going to focus on the top. The center base I have is partially cut off from the top, so it's easier for me to reinforce the right than it is the top. So most of my units are going to be fighting on the right side. That's why I built a recon on the right side. I wanted to... Oh, there's a tank here. I wanted to press forward on the right side as much as possible. I did not expect a tank here so soon, to be honest. But I went forward anyway with my infantry because I know that his recon and his tank can't interrupt all of them. And I kind of want the income in order to spam battlecopters every turn. Yes, there are many games that I want to spam battlecopters, but I just don't have the income to support it. I put my artillery here. I suppose if his tank is down here, he probably doesn't have much up here anyway. And if he does have a recon up here, it would probably be traveling along the roads further top than it is towards the center. So I would assume that he did not see my recon, well, my artillery go in this forest. And I would go for another battlecopter, but at some point I do need tanks to deal with anti-air, so I built 2 tanks instead. Okay, can't see anything of what he's doing right now. He goes for the comm tower. And another tank, which... Well, good thing I built 2 tanks and a battlecopter here. He interrupts my capture and then gets a shot on my recon. Good thing the recon's still alive, so it's still useful. He knows my artillery. He sees my artillery here. We did treat this as a live game, so of course he would see it. And my battlecopter is just outside of the range for his recon. And I create a pretty standard defense here. Infantry on the flanks so that he has to go all the way around to attack my artillery if he's going for that. And make sure my vehicles can overlap. This tank can't actually overlap the artillery, but it can move around to attack if anything attacks my artillery. And this tank can reach all the way to the city in case something tries to attack that city. So up here, I don't have any vehicles, I only have infantry. I don't see what's going on. I built a recon. I need some vision up there. That's it. And he doesn't attack. I don't expect him to, because why would he? There's an artillery here he can't reach. And this is one of the reasons why I preferred sending my infantry up to capture. I prefer using this property by the artillery right here to capture chain onto the comm tower rather than this city to capture chain. because I would have moved my infantry into that woods after capturing this, and I would have seen this recon there. But now that I know his recon is up there, actually, I'll get on that thought later. I saw his tanks shift up. So that was one tank going up, and then another tank I just saw try to sneak by. So I know he's front shifting here. It might have been good for him to maybe sacrifice his recon to kill my recon, and then I wouldn't have been able to see anything. But I noticed his tanks was front shifting. But I have an artillery here, which I assumed he did not see yet. So I'm just going to lay a little bit of a bait. I know his recon can't see my artillery, so I can move my artillery and shift it up to the woods right underneath this recon. And he might not know. Well, he wouldn't know if I move my artillery away, so I'm just going to move it away. What's the harm in that? That does mean that my 5 HP infantry here is vulnerable, but I'm just going to pretend like an artillery is still in the woods. That's why I'm leaving the infantry over here. He doesn't have to know. But I am shifting one of my tanks up, and I am going to shift this battlecopter to cover this city because I have a suspicion that this city right here is his next target. Yeah, so my battlecopter has just enough movement to cover that, my tank covers that, and my artillery covers it. So I'm still feeling confident. I know if I'm not losing, I'm going to win because I'm Eagle. And let's see how his attack goes. He attacks my infantry, he attacks my infantry again. And I don't know if he has an infantry of his own ready to capture, but I'm feeling confident. He just walked into range of my artillery. My tank and battlecopter is close enough to start attacking him back. And I have a 2 HP recon ready to scout out if he has anything more behind. So I'm feeling confident right now. He moved his recon here. I suppose it's a good thing that he's trying to see what's coming, but my artillery is already in the forest. So, scout ahead. I see no infantry on the property, so of course I'm going to get some shots. And I attack in such a way, some people might think it's better to move the tank on the property to attack, to finish off a tank, but I rather keep things within the coverage of my artillery. And just like before, I have my 2 infantry flanking the artillery, well, to protect my artillery's flank, so that he has to either remove an infantry or go all the way around to hit my artillery. So it's a pretty good turn for me. And seeing another tank up here, of course I'm going to redirect more tanks. And now I have enough income to do the battlecopter spam. I will now build battlecopters every single turn just because I can. I don't agree with the recon attack here, mostly because you need the recon for vision. You shouldn't really be using it to interrupt infantry. And this is what was actually surprising to me. He went to attack my tank, even though he should have known my artillery. Well, he should have known a artillery was nearby. And the only spots they could have appeared in is in one of these 2 forests, which this tank will be in based on the way it was attacked. So I don't know why he attacked, but Hey, more kills for me. Recon to scout the area before moving my battlecopter. Couldn't quite kill that recon, so I finished it off with an infantry. And I stopped the comm tower. I stopped him from taking my comm tower. Now, at this point, I could have used my tank again to destroy that tank, but I realized my battlecopter could do the job, and I know that his recon is still waiting in that forest. Well, I didn't know that, but I knew a recon moved in there, so I thought I might as well shoot at it. I considered killing it with my infantry, but I thought I might have been overextending a bit. So, just to threaten a little bit more, and I got a third battlecopter. Eh. Even though I don't have any tanks in this area anymore, my artillery is still covering my battlecopters. So if an anti-air does attack does attack my battlecopter, I can still get rid of his air defenses. And I guess I have another tank that can move in. And of course, I can build a battlecopter, so I'm going to build more battlecopters. You can't really go wrong with anti-air unless you accidentally throw it away shooting at an infantry. But I knew that there was a possibility of a fighter. The income on this map is pretty high, so a fighter would be quite hard to deal with, so I built one anti-air for that. But I can also afford a tank, so of course I'm going to build it. And my opponent resigned here. So, fair enough. Let's turn on the vision to see what he has. Okay, so he doesn't really have anything to defend on the right side. And he could destroy both my air units here with his anti-air and battlecopter, but that would just be him committing more forces into a grinder where I am clearly able to reinforce faster. But even then, this is why I gambled on picking Eagle, because I assumed my opponent would pick Hawk due to the stalling nature of this map. And it was right of me it was lucky of me to guess correctly. Don't really know what else to say. If he's not winning right now, I will win because Eagle is just so much stronger than Hawk in this matchup. Like if my opponent picked Olaf, I would still win, but it would be much harder for me to win because I do not like dealing with Winter Fury. And if I do so much damage with my super, he might get a second Winter Fury in a row. But yeah, this is the Egg Cup Round 5. I gambled on picking a Tier 2 CO, knowing full well that a Sasha would hard counter me and I would just lose straight up, but I went to choose Eagle anyway. Well, next round. So that was the Egg Cup Round 5.